So we're really excited that you're here. I didn't know you were going to be here.
Me neither.
We're really excited about it.
Thank you.
I've been like tweeting you since day one, like first episode, because you're a scene stealer. Like every time, like with the how can you talk us through like the mannerisms? Because there's so much like these intricate little things, like little head movements or hand things that you know. Is that all from you, or is that directed?
Yeah, no, that's all from me. Those are choices that I made. Starting early on, we all knew that Edward was going to start as a good guy, going to meet him as a good guy, and he's going to be working in Gotham City Police Department as a good guy. And that's not very exciting dramatically. So, so I had to tell a story physically that was appropriate, which was that, I had to create someone that is not liked, not understood, not appreciated, kind of odd. People don't really rely on him as much as they should because he's brilliant. So, I had to create a physical story, which is that this person is someone that not everyone's going to easily identify with or perhaps want to engage with. And a lot of that was about the way that he presents himself physically. Also when you have that active of a mind, what does that do to your body? If you're spending most of your time here and not on other people, how are you, what makes someone's brain tick? Like when you're moving that fast, what do you do? And also I'm kind of a long, lanky guy, and I thought it was inappropriate. With the costume designer, we designed his clothes. All of his sleeves are kind of short. All his pants are short. What does that do to someone's behavior when they're bigger than their clothes? Their brain is bigger than, the room.
Yeah.
So that was all really helpful in me creating his little tics.
When he's essentially getting bullied for most of the time that he's on screen, do you feel a responsibility for maybe like the viewers who are younger viewers who are going to watch and relate to it because they're like getting bullied themselves?
Well, I hope that no, because the reality is that Edward, his response to being bullied is not great. He becomes a terror to an entire city. So I hope that people who do not have an easy time would respond differently, of course. But certainly. So yeah, no, that's my no. If you're bullied, you do not have to hurt other people.
Did you ever face bullies?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was actually very overweight as a kid, and so I was picked on quite a bit and struggled with my. I started with body size and body image and eating. So that was my struggle, and it all changed, as I kind of grew up. So I know what it's like to not have a pleasant childhood.
And then going back to Gotham, then how much will we see Ed in the last four in the final?
So much.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time with that. Yeah, it's been very fun, and I think the perception of him as a person, how his brain works. And the kind of man that he can be will completely change when you see how he responds to circumstances that get super heated. He's met with his first real crisis. Getting fired and framing the medical examiner was like, let's on a scale of 1 to 10, let's put that around like a 4 maybe, or 3.7, 3.8. You see him have to deal with a major crisis, and that is very, very revealing.
Okay. You said that playing him as a good guy is not all that exciting from a dramatic standpoint, so are you looking forward to getting to explore his dark side in further seasons? Yeah, but
the dark side is only as exciting as dark is only exciting when there is light, right? So it's been important, exciting, and imperative for us to show him that way. Because the tragedy of his story is that maybe things could have been different. So yeah, and also, the good guys are not always good. I mean, if someone would have appreciated him, Would things have been different? Probably. You know, there's a responsibility to take care of other people, you know, and when you don't, you lose them. So,
have you gotten any indication of when you might wear the green or a variation on the green suit, some sort of reality
right? When, I don't know. I mean, you know, he has to claim the identity of Riddler. You know, there has to be a decision eventually that is like, I'm going to now use my talents to hurt people and haunt people and taunt them. You know, we're not there yet. You know, he's reacting. At this point, he's reacting to things and responding to them. You know, at the moment when he decides to be on the offense is perhaps the time that he will, you know, don the identity and the clothing. We're not there yet.
How challenging is it to do your own spin on such an iconic character?
There's certainly a responsibility to not messing it up. It's really exciting. You know, I genuinely feel more confident now than I did at the beginning of the season, and that's just from having spent 12 months, you know, thinking about this person, being this person. You know, spending a year with the writers and producers, getting on the same page and like sharing, you know, ideas for plots and, you know, experiencing this year of like what's happening to him. So I feel like we've set him up to. I think we've set up a pretty complex person that can respond to ways or can respond to events in a way that I feel like he is actually a whole human being and not just me being this character identity. So I feel good. Was that the question? What was the actual question?
How to put your spin on an iconic character? It was.
Right. Yeah. No. I feel like what we're doing is unique. I'm really happy about it.
Do you feel like that framing, which was so epic, by the way, the framing of the medical examiner?
Yeah.
Was that a sort of a teaser to the whole idea of, you know, because he's so intelligent, he can use it in more than one way, and like, you know, kind of the beginnings of maybe using it for not the best purposes?
Yeah, that was certainly the first time you saw, you know, at least a little bit of evil behavior from him. This sort of way of looking at a situation, saying, you had it coming, or you asked for it. You know, you mistreat me. I think you would actually be better to be gone, not me. You know, what am I doing wrong other than actually finding something, actually getting evidence? No one is listening to me. I'm the one that found something. You looked at this body and you didn't find anything. I did. Go. I can do your job better. You know, this thing of like, I'm actually helping the police department by getting rid of this idiot who can't do his job well.
Isn't that whole like every villain is a hero in his own mind?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, eventually he's not going to be doing things to help people, but it was an unfortunate choice to doing what he felt was right. And it was quiet, you know. No one noticed anything, so he got away with it. Noted. You're good at this.
Did you tackle any sort of medical examining research? Did you look at anything, or?
I did. I mean, I talked to someone about it. It was very. My research was minimal. I mean, it was enough to like not look like a fool or make drastically wrong choices. But you know, this is someone who also doesn't necessarily follow procedure or rules, period. So I didn't want him to ever be shackled, which, you know, I don't want him to be shackled by like, this is the proper way to do things. I mean, he's just going to do what he wants to do, you know. It's more about like making choices of like, oh, don't contaminate something. How do I do something? You know, make choices that are like, oh, I certainly wouldn't touch something like this, or, you know. Everything else just likes to have fun.